Hello Aries, my name is Paul and this is Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask that you connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And if there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. All right. And remember, Aries, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And the Lust or Strength card. This is very good energy to begin a reading with. That is a lot of courage, a lot of bravery. We got to see what you're up to currently. All right, this is very, very, very strong energy. This is kind of a feeling that you might have of really being able to just kind of reach up and grab what you want. It's almost like you're reaching into the heavens and you are plucking your star right out of the heaven. Right. So I think this is it feels to me like it's kind of a need for control. Right. It's a need to feel like we can stay in control of things, right? Let's put it into some context. There is the Knight of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands, the Knight of Swords, the Eight of Swords, the Knight of Wands. We've got a lot of knights here. This is a lot of fire energy, and this is the control of the fire energy, right? This is fire of air, fire of earth, fire of fire. So this is interesting to me. And of course, we have this fire down here. A lot of fire in your reading today. And then we have even more fire over here. But we've got some air and some earth, which is interesting. So let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is one random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot that we are just going to select here. We'll put it down. We're going to put Jimbo, the Lizard King, right there. AKA Mr. Wizard, right there on top of that. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end. So don't even ask, okay? We're going to see if that might tie everything together and give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading, okay? But we're also doing something a little different. If you, at any point during the reading, get an idea, a sense, a feeling of what that is, I want you to put your prediction in the comment section, right? I'm trying to see if we can kind of collectively, tap into source, tap into intuition, and start discerning this mystery card together. Yeah. All right, but first, let's look at these energies. We've got, like I said, we've got a lot of the fire. What I'm noticing is this is the only major arcana card, right? So we're going to definitely need an I Ching reading to go with that. Okay, so we have one major arcana card. We have 3 fire cards. We don't have any water cards. The water we get is at the very end inside this Queen of Wands, right? So there is kind of there is a cooling down, there is a tempering of ourselves here at the end, right? And I think that this comes, or will come, through the understanding of the rest of these energies that now gives you this kind of different perspective on the control. This is the need to really maybe control everything. And then here we have this kind of a more calm, understanding, reflective kind of energy. Okay, so fire, no real water. We do have some air in these positions, and we have some earth in these positions. So it's kind of a 3, 3, and 3 deal, which isn't so bad. Yeah, the major arcana. We'll definitely do our I Ching reading for this one. I think that you're definitely focused on what might feel like out of control, right? And there could be these 3 areas of your life even that need control. Okay, when we look at these court cards, we see fire, we see earth, we see air. So it could be in terms of your relationships, right? That we're looking for some sort of, I don't know if control is really the right word. It's some sort of a feeling like it makes sense, right? That we really would like to we would like to get a handle on maybe how much attention we're giving or receiving. What is the power dynamic in our relationships? Are we getting what we need out of our relationships? So with the Knight of Swords here, this is relationships, this is communication. There's this fiery aspect to it. Yeah. And to me, this is kind of, this is almost like it's very sensitive area of your life, you know, and which I think all three of these areas are. The relationships and communication. I think the physical realm, this could be finances, this could be health even, but I think maybe more kind of tangible, I think financial or career related with the Knight of Pentacles. And then of course with the Knight of Wands, we get into that spiritual kind of creative control, or the seeking to understand. Right? All of this fire, I think, seeks understanding. The understanding is the water that we get here. Right? Fire and water. Fire seeks water. It's kind of a combination of those energies. It's what we're seeking. That's why there's no water here. Except at the end, like I said. Because that's what we need. We're looking for not necessarily control, but an understanding. Right? To see the bigger picture, to see what this all means, and why it's here, and why we have to do it, and what all these different areas of our life really are leading toward, right? So in the area of relationships, I think this is, again, it's kind of how much we share with others. It's an exchange of information, right? It's communication. It's how we relate to other people and how we are able to share of ourselves, okay? The next card that I want to talk about is the Knight of Pentacles. Because this, I think it has to do with finances. But it has more than that. It's kind of the future of my physical being. Right? Where do you see yourself in 5-10 years? You know? What is the vision that you have of the future? This card is all about playing the long game. Right? Seeing long-term things. What do we need to do right now to manifest that long-term goal? Right? Everything we do now, all the decisions we make, every thought, word, and deed right now is an investment in our future self. So what is your future self? What do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Right? So there's kind of this, again, this general feeling of needing to control it. Right? Needing to see that it's not just chaos, that there's a plan here, that things are going in a particular direction, right? That we can understand. So it's a search for understanding, okay? And then finally, in the future, we've got the Knight of Wands. And this, I think, is, well, it's fire on fire. There's a lot of creativity here. And this, I think, is feeling like you need to be in control of being in control. You want to be in control of your destiny, of your creative output, of not only creative in terms of, you know, what you're building or what you're creating, or the, you know, the individual projects, or even the long-term, you know, kind of creative plan, but to feel as if your personal self, right, your personality, who you are, right, with your interests, with your likes and your dislikes, how you are expressing that and manifesting that, right? Are you someone that in your home you need to have a reflection of yourself, you know? Are you able to freely express your creativity? And this is in terms of like the music that you like, the food that you like to eat, the decorations that you like to have in your house, you know? It's not essentially meaningful. It doesn't really have much bearing on your future self or your vision for your success. And this, again, this card could be business, finances, that sort of thing. But this is more moment to moment, feeling like you have this free flow of creative energy, right? That you can mold your reality to be a reflection of yourself, right? So this might be manifesting as almost a micromanagement almost wanting every part of your environment to be exactly how you want it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think we all feel that to a certain degree. But this might be going a little bit extreme, where we kind of want to control everything. Yeah. And I don't feel that this is necessarily possible. Okay. But let's see how we're going to temper this, because again, we have all of this fire energy that I think is seeking water. We're seeking the understanding, right? And well, let's continue with the fire energy. We have the Eight of Wands down here beneath everything. This is Mercury and Sagittarius. This is a feeling of anxiety that's growing in you, I think. To me, it's kind of like we want this control, we want this understanding, and we have all of this fire energy, but we don't have an outlet for it. So it either comes out in this kind of micromanaging way, or this is kind of like a hypervigilance, right? This is you kind of paying attention to everything and noticing when any little thing is out of place, you know. It's either that, or this energy just accumulates within you and it creates an anxiety, right? A growing kind of anxiety. So I think we're being blocked a little bit from releasing this kind of energy. At the top of the path of the dove, right up here, we've got an 8. Right? We have a lot of 8s. In fact, we've got the Eight of Wands, which is kind of this fire energy that needs a place to go, right? That needs something to calm it down, essentially. It needs the understanding that we get here with the blending of fire and water. Up here is the intellectual blockage of an 8 of Swords. Over here is kind of what we want. This is the obstacle, though. This is the 8 of Pentacles, right? So we have an 8 to go with the fire, we have an 8 to go with the swords, we have an 8 to go with the pentacles here, right? So we may feel that we're kind of, we're blocked in terms of our communication and our relationships, okay? Because we get tangled up, right? And this might be, I don't know, a difficulty expressing what we truly want or need. Right? The things that we say being kind of misunderstood. Our attempts to share with others may be not received in the way that we've intended, right? So we've got this fire energy within us, and yet there's a difficulty communicating it to other people in our lives with our relationships, okay? And then with the Earth, we have this vision of the future. We know that what we do now is creating our future. We know what we want the future to be, but we're having a difficulty focusing on these little individual steps. It's almost like, I know that I've got to do these little things now, but it's hard for me to do those little things because I just want to keep thinking about this bigger picture. I want to make these big moves, right? I don't want to have to pay attention to the little details because, honestly, with an 8 of Pentacles, it doesn't feel like you're making progress, right? This is just kind of you're doing this thing every day, this work, this building. Maybe it's, you know, you're saving like $1 right here and there, and it's just like, I don't want to do that because it's just $1. It doesn't mean anything, right? So we're having a difficulty seeing the bigger picture in terms of the little details, okay? And then, of course, with the fire that comes next, we've got this creative kind of blockage or disconnect or something. That is kind of, rather than running wild like a Knight of Wands would like to do, this could be really unbridled energy that just goes crazy, goes in every direction. And that's kind of what we're trying to contain. We're trying to give this energy some sort of creative outlet, right? Some sort of expression. And I think we're finding a difficulty here, maybe picking a direction, right? This could be someone who dabbles in a lot of different things, trying to find that one thing that will allow me to express my creative energy. But what I'm doing instead is kind of dabbling in this, dabbling in that, dabbling in this and that, rather than committing full force to one particular thing, Okay. We don't want to forget that we do have this luster strength card. We have to do our I Ching reading. So let's do that now, because that's kind of this is the energy that we want. We want this luster strength card. We want this bravery to be able to just reach up into the heavens and pull our will, our destiny, our manifestation down, right? We just want to be able to do it. That one flew out of the deck. That is going to be our card here. 17, following. From the source, creating success, constancy bears fruit. No mistake. Let's see what this following. Honor the flow of energy from source to fulfillment and align your actions to it, allowing your ideal outcome to meld with the natural current. Interesting. We have this idea of ideal outcome, right, which we were talking about kind of with this one. Following may then be an effortless flow of supportive synchronicities. Moving with the creative process is never a mistake. How are things flowing? How can you move with them? Where are you being nudged and guided? So it's following. It's kind of, it's going with the flow in a way, right? So how are things flowing and how can we move with them, right? And that's kind of, I think, what we're looking for. But we've got these kind of maybe blockages, we could call them here, that are preventing us from really going with the flow of what the court cards kind of want. What we need is a blending of the fire and the water. We need the understanding. We need to kind of cool down. We need to have the subtle intuition, right, to kind of take us with the flow, right? So I like that hexagram. I think that is a very good hexagram for this. We, of course, have a 6 of swords down here in your general energy, which is the same as the archetypal energy that is presiding over this cycle of readings. And this one, I think, is a blending of our heart and mind. Right? This is kind of a fire and a water combo, just like we are seeing in this one. So it's kind of a, this is maybe a more practical way of expressing this, right? If this is the ultimate aim, to have that kind of, to have the water energy, the intuition, the understanding, the emotional kind of certainty, fueling our creative, conscious awareness. This card is the intellectual certainty, acceptance. This is our mind kind of being quieted down by this water energy, right? It's the need for us to see how everything fits together. We're seeing the bigger picture. We're seeing the divine plan, the divine blueprint here. And I think this is also a reconnecting with our heart, right? It's our connection with the emotions here. It's finding the order in the chaos, really. It's finding that everything you're doing, even though it seems like we're kind of, it's getting a little hectic over here, with this 6 of swords, there's still this realization that everything we're doing in both our relationships, our physical environment, and our creative spiritual environment, everything is for a shared purpose. Everything is in harmony. Everything is going according to plan, really, right? It's an acceptance of things as they are. Now, in the environment, we see the 5. And this is very much exactly what it says. It's worry, right? It's anxiety. This is things moving and shifting that are out of our control. This is like when the ground shakes. I don't know, I'm from California. We had earthquakes out there. When the ground starts shaking, there's nothing you can do. You can try to hold on to stuff. You can try to take shelter, protect yourself, but we can't stop it. We just have to kind of wait for the ground to settle down, you know. So this is kind of the, this is the feeling that you have when things are kind of out of your hands, out of your control, right? And this is the difficulty, but this is kind of, again, going with the flow. Whatever is happening in the environment, we can't resist it. We can't just deny that there's an earthquake or just get mad at the earthquake. We've got to adapt. right? We've got to try to roll with it. We've got to follow and flow with what's happening around us, right? Rather than trying to swim against the current. We've got to just go with it, right? In a natural, kind of easy way where our heart, like we're not mad at it and we're not trying to reason with it and convince it or ourselves that a different course of action is better, right? Our heart and mind are not getting in the way. We're just allowing our fire energy, which is we see everywhere here, we're allowing our fire energy to just adapt and do what it needs to do. We're not thinking about it. We're not feeling about it. We're just adapting. We're just following the flow, right? So it's very similar to that. And I think that this in the environment, this is a lot of the uncertainty that we might be feeling in the environment, right? And then, of course, we've got this kind of inner tranquility with the Queen of Wands. There's water in this fire on the outside. And that, I think, you know, I kind of feel like this Six of Swords is what's within this Queen of Wands, right? Kind of creating this certainty, this calmness, this tranquility, right? That is allowing us to just express our energies in a way that is kind of going with the flow of circumstances. Yeah. I want to look at the mystery card. I'm very curious what we're going to get with this one. I'll try to put these things back where I found them. Now, with the mystery card, I do want you to try to use your intuition. Try to discern what this card's going to be. Thank you, Jimbo. And what is this card, and how might it confirm this reading? How might it add the kind of missing piece to this reading? Pause the video if you want. I'll go ahead and venture a guess as well. Well, before we do that, let's do one inspirational card for that 8. Because the 8 of Swords, that, to me, that's like the most difficult part to deal with, and that's just our mind overthinking, right? Being unable to kind of get out of our heads about our life and about what's going on and about all of this. We've got the sweet pea. Blissful pleasure. Follow your bliss, and the universe will open doors where there were only walls. Well, I think that's very appropriate for what we're talking about. Because I think it's kind of, you know, following your bliss, going with your flow, going with your will, going with spirit, following that impulse, following that river, you know, and the universe will open doors. But I think what we really need in this mystery card, and here's my guess, I think it's going to be the Death card. And I don't, you know, the Death card kind of has this scary connotation to it because it's called Death. But I think really it needs to be called the Going with the Flow card. But maybe that's just too many letters to put on a tarot card. Because I feel like this is, it's a lot of, the Death card would be a lot of things. It would be letting go of, one, the need for control, realizing that things are progressing slowly and steadily no matter what we do. We either roll with it or we're going to get trampled underneath it, right? That's my prediction. Yeah. We're off to a good start with this cycle of readings. Here's the Death card. This is the radical acceptance of all life experiences. Nothing can disturb this inner tranquility, right? Nothing can disturb. When we find this, when we have that certainty, when we settle our heart mind, no matter what happens externally, nothing can break that. Nothing can break us. Nothing can disturb that, right? Now, it doesn't mean that we suddenly don't have emotions or we don't react to things. But there's this deeper sense of, even in my struggles, even in these trials and tribulations, even with all of the uncertainty, you're trusting the universe. You're kind of trusting the process, right? So in some ways, it's kind of us letting go of the need for control, right? There is something in life that we can't, many things, but this is one of those fundamental things that we cannot control. And I think we try every single day, just, you know, like turn on your television and look at advertisements. We try every day to control this card or slow this horse and rider down, right? That's all we can really do is slow it down, I think. But this energy is slow and steady change. But there's a certain reassurance in this. There's a certain tranquility born of this, because it's kind of like, it's one thing you don't have to worry about, right? Death is going to come for us all eventually. But death is not in a hurry, right? So this is one of those things that like is guaranteed. This is the only certainty that we have in life. So it's kind of, we can use this as a gauge almost, as an advisor, like Castaneda would say, right? In the one hand, it's saying, let's let go a little bit. Let's stop trying to force everything with a disjointed heart and mind. Let's stop arguing with the earthquake. Let's stop getting mad at the storms, you know. And on some level of our being, there's an acceptance, almost a gratitude towards this energy, because it is the constant thing of things growing and changing and becoming. It's the constant tide, right, of the ocean. And there's almost a tinge of sadness in that, but I think it's reassuring. I think it's something that we all, in some ways, cling to, right? The certainty of it, right? The thankfulness that this is one thing that cannot change. This is the one thing that we all have. My cat's here too. The one thing that we all have that we know is not going anywhere, right? And it's not meant to be morbid or anything. I feel like this is kind of letting go of things, right? Grudges, resentments, you know, habits, this kind of need for control. We can let go of things, right? We can just let things be behind us, right? This is energy. This is constantly moving forward, right? There's no reversing this process. We can slow it down, but it's just going to continue steadily on. It's the one thing that is kind of reliable. So this puts other things into perspective as well, like resentments and these kinds of things, grudges, arguments, right? These small things. This is us learning how to recycle as well, right? Because it's we all go through difficulties, pains, traumas, arguments, grudges, resentments. We all have storms and earthquakes, right, in our life. This is us letting go of those, but not forgetting about them. Things don't just vanish, right? Things are recycled. Everything gets recycled. Nothing is wasted. So when we have difficult experiences, don't waste them. Recycle them. Use them. Let them kind of decay and ferment, you know. Let them produce some sort of wisdom or knowledge or experience. Let those experiences reinforce our love and gratitude. Right? Let's recycle those things. Let's use them as fertilizer for our soil. Yeah. I think this is a good confirmation card. I don't know about you. We're going to do an extended reading. Now, if you want to stick around, click either above or below in the video description. New readings for Aries every Monday and Friday, 6 a.m. Chicago time. I want to thank you for watching this video all the way through till the end. It really helps the algorithm. And Aries, I want you to remember that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and I hope you'll come back and see me again very, very soon.